What do you do at 0 dark 30 when you can't get any sleep time? There's a lot of things you can do. You can pray for others. You can thank God for the people that He's put in your life. You can pray in such a way that it binds the communication in the community and God's in the kingdom in that community and of that communication into one song. Kind of reminds you of the Song of Moses. Exodus chapter 15, that also mimics, surprisingly enough, the same chapter in Revelation chapter 15, the Song of Moses. It's the song that only those people know. We're talking about the 144,000. And the 144,000 are just, they're nobody special, that's for one thing. It's more like a band or a group of misfits that are on such the extreme fringes of society that they're on the outside looking in. And that's a great way to look at it, because it's just like being out there, right there in the wilderness. And you're looking for life, looking on the inside. You're on the outside looking in. And you're just trying and hoping and praying that not only will you find like-minded individuals, number one, but number two is that other people will listen. They'll listen to that message of born again Israel. Not replacement theology. No, was no replacement. It's like in the days of Noah, or Noe, chapter 24 of Matthew. You also have Mark 13 and Luke 21. But for most reasons, you choose Matthew 24 because it's got a lot of raw meat in there. It really does. It really does. And everybody thinks, well, the tribulation or this or that, it's going to be like the days of Noah or Noe, which is perfectly correct in that assumption. But we need to understand that Noah was perfect in all his generations. So it wasn't so much about most people. They're always going to default back and they're going to say, well, it's going to be eating and drinking. They went on eating and drinking like there was no tomorrow, and then the end came and they were all picked up and swooped up. No, it doesn't say that. If Noah was perfect in all his generations, and if Israel was born again at the cross, we're talking about a whole new different complexity. A whole new area that people haven't even discovered yet. Because they think, well, it's going to be the Nephilim are coming back. Well, then what was the purpose of the flood in the first place? So if they're coming back, like you 7-year dispensational pre-trib rapture cultists profess by, then maybe God didn't get it done the first time. Oh no, so you're going to read between the scripture, invisible scripture, you're going to make it up as you go along, get along to go along, or go along to get along with your contemporaries. Oh, it's going to be like the days of Noah where the Nephilim are coming back. When it comes to strange, peculiar spirits from the not so godly type, you people epitomize that concept. You just can't get it through your head. See, we're on another tangent. Sorry about that. It's late at night. Can't go to sleep. Get these things called electroshocks. But when it comes to the actual voice of God, very few people speak it anymore. It's spoken in truth. It doesn't mean that they're special. They're going to be outcasts. They're going to be vilified. They are going to be just marginalized to the max. But no matter. Because you do know the truth. You do know the truth. And just wanted to offer up some prayers for some needy people out there, because you're part of the kingdom too. Nobody owns a remnant message. A remnant of who? A remnant of Israel. This isn't replacement theology. Israel was carried over, translated over, passing over, and born again as spiritual Israel. Christ is now our Sabbath. It went from the physical or the physicality of it to the spiritual or the spirituality of it. And that's where we're at right now. That's the family to be part of. A family of who? Of all races included. Period. Why would a just God, leave you with this thought, if the so-called chosen people from the six-pointed hexagram are really the chosen people, why would they be going through the tribulation, 7-year dispensational rapture. Cultists, answer that. This is almost by juxtaposition a abstract rendering of the prodigal son, in a way. If he was so chosen, how come he didn't get all that? So you 7-year dispensational pre-trib rapture people have a problem with labeling. You don't have the proper labels. You don't have the proper identification. Least of all of which, you don't have the proper spiritual identification that establishes you primarily as one of the chosen. And there's nothing wrong with saying that about Christians. Nothing wrong with saying that about Christians at all. Remember, Christ said, "You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you." That is our admonition. Now is, final thought, now is the time to claim your inheritance. Now is the time to claim your heritage. Now is the time to claim your spiritual identity in Jesus Christ as born again Israel. Nobody owns a remnant message. I'm a nobody. And hopefully there's a few other nobodies out there who will make that claim. If you're remnant, stay remnant. I love you guys. We'll talk soon. Jarhead out.